Well, hey, First Alliance family, this is Pastor Paul Smith coming to you in this month's video blog. This month, we are interviewing Susan Scott, the head of our women's ministry. So Susan, welcome.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Paul.
All right.
Glad to be here.
So you've been on staff at First Alliance Women's Ministry how long?
Well, we moved here July of 2016, and I was hired August of 2016.
Okay, right away.
So yeah, it'll be 4 years this summer.
Okay, all right. And so if you weren't doing women's ministry, what would you be doing?
I would be teaching in a classroom, probably. That's what my degree was in college, and I always thought that's what I would do. So.
What grades?
Right now, my heart is toward fourth graders.
Fourth graders.
I just think, they're at an interesting stage of life.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so what brought you here? Tell us about your family.
Okay, so Brian is my husband, and he brought us down here to work with Ed Mangum in the district offices. So he is the director of multiplication for our district, the Ohio Valley District, which is all of Kentucky and part of Ohio. And with that, we brought our kids. We have a 22-year-old Peyton. She is a teacher, graduate from Taylor University, so she teaches in a special needs classroom. And then Jordan, our daughter, is a sophomore at Taylor University. She's also in education special needs. And finally, Bryson, our son, who is going to be 18 soon. 18. All right. He's a junior at West Just Heisel.
Okay, football player.
Football player, the youngest but the tallest and the strongest of our family.
Yes, absolutely. So what's unique about women's ministry at First Alliance? What are you excited about? What's happening?
All right. Well, I would say the unique component with women's ministry here is that there's women of all generations, all different walks of life, coming together and finding out what the Lord has for them, figuring out ways to get connected with God, while they're also connecting with each other.
Okay, so of all ages coming around one table. Okay, very good. And you said that there's an out component to women's ministry in these table groups. Tell me about that.
So when I was hired to take over women's ministry, there were already some things that were in place in some of the ministries that they were partnering with organizations outside of our walls. Booker T. Washington, Secret Sisters has done something with that for a long time. And so we just started casting the vision with each of the groups. What are going to be some ways that you're going to be serving? So we've taken on Natalie's Sisters, we've done Kentucky United Methodist Children's Home, and we've got all these components that we're trying to continue to love on the people that God has put in our area.
Okay. So multi-generational, around tables, studying God's Word, having an out dynamic, getting in the community. How many volunteers does that take to kind of keep all that humming and really running well?
Yeah, that's a great question, Paul. I would say right now I have roughly 60 volunteers in all different areas, from greeting to working in the kitchen to leading a small group.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. 60 at least.
Okay, so about how many in women's ministry if you have 60 volunteers?
Well, Wednesday night Bible study has close to 60. Thursday morning Bible study is close to 60. We've got 70, I think, in Secret Sisters. We've got a lot.
That's a lot. And to do that well takes a lot of volunteers.
It does.
All right. Well, very, very, very good. So, as you remember Susan, as you think about Susan, that's more than likely your prayer request is, making sure we have enough leaders and volunteers as the growth continues to come. You'll want to make sure that all that ministry is done really, really well. And we're very excited about what God's doing in our women's ministry as multi-generations get around the table and then also help us fulfill our mission in the world of loving God, loving others, and living fully engaged. And so if you see Susan, come up to her, encourage her, be praying for her and that whole women's ministry team. Thank you so much for joining us in this month's video blog.